Hey guys, welcome to another boss ranking. Last time we ranked the bosses from Act 1 from worst to best, and of course this time we're gonna do the same, but for Act 2. There's a total of 17 bosses, so let's start right away with our last placement, which is the Broodmother. And so what can I say about this boss? First of all, there is a gauntlet, and that's the thing. I'm not the biggest fan in bosses in this game. I wish this wasn't a thing. I mean, it's totally fine beating the gauntlet first time and then fight the boss. But when you go to a second time, I really wish it was, just the boss itself. But now you have to fight the gauntlet every single time. And this one is not a very fun one. And the boss itself, it's also not fun at all. First of all, the looks. It's probably the ugliest boss in the entire game. I mean, maybe that was the intention, and if that was the intention, then yes, they have succeeded. But I don't like the visual of Broodmother at all. As for the fight itself, it's kind of boring. She throws some minions that explode, and she throws some balls at you that will glue you to the floor, and then she just jumps around the arena. That's it. And yeah, not a fun boss at all. Definitely the worst in Act 2. As for our number 16, we have Garmond and Zaza. Now, probably a lot of people would put this boss higher because they are so important to the story and the game, but I don't know, as a boss fight, this feels like a meme fight, this feels like, fighting Zoti in the Colosseum in the first game, where, it's almost impossible for you to die. They give us zero challenge. But, it's funny, it's cool to go against them and see their moves and all, even though we already saw them while they were fighting enemies, when they were helping us. But yeah, they look really cool. And it feels funny. It's a funny event in the game, but it doesn't feel like a boss fight. So yeah, number 16. Now it's time for number 15, and I'm gonna give it to Voltvyrm. This is one of the most forgettable bosses in the game for me. I guess it has one good thing going for it. It's like a cool audiovisual experience, the music is very intense, and all the purple colors everywhere, and the lasers and the explosions. That's kind of cool, I guess. But I don't know, I think this is one of the least inspired boss visuals. Designs is just a bunch of circles, the boss that you have to hit. And I don't know, he has two attacks that it just keeps repeating over and over again. So yeah, it's not a very cool boss. At number 14 we have Father of the Flame, which is quite an improvement over Voltvyrm. I mean, this boss looks cool, and I like the concept where you have to pogo everywhere to hit the things to, do kind of some damage to him until you go to the last phase. And there's also something different in this boss that you do not find in any other boss, which is, you don't get to recover Silk at any point in this fight. So that's a cool, neat concept. It's a boss that I think it's different from every other boss in this game, so it gets some extra points for that. But I don't know, it's not exactly very memorable, very challenging, or even a lot of fun. But again, it's a different concept, and for that it gets the 14th spot on this list. At number 13, and this boss is way better than the last one, Disgraced Chef Lugoli is already a very, very decent boss. I think this boss starts right away really cool with two enemies that you have to fight. And yes, it's a gauntlet, but it's the smallest of them all. And I really like the enemies. I wish these guys were more in the game, but they only appear here in this boss fight, and they die in 10 seconds, and then the fight starts. And for the boss fight, I think it's really cool, Chef Lugoli. She looks really funny. I don't know, she seems like she has all her clothes really dirty. And I don't know, I like her attacks. Every single attack she has is really cool, especially the butt attack. I think everyone is gonna remember this attack. It is so funny looking. And yeah, it's a memorable boss in a way. Not a very good one, because I don't know, it's not very complex or anything. The fight feels a bit repetitive due to the fact that it doesn't have a big moveset. But it looks cool. And I think the attacks are very fun to avoid, and it's a very, very decent fight. Now for number 12, and probably not a lot of people gonna agree with this, but I decided to go to our second meeting with the Savage Beastfly. Now this is a boss that you fought on the first act already, and it was a pain to so many people out there in this world. So many people talk about this boss, everywhere, even on Facebook or YouTube, wherever. And you fight him again on the second act, and it gets even harder because now you fight him on, the Fort Shorta's arena. And he can break the floor, and when he breaks the floor, you can fall into the lava, which will get you 2 damage. And also the minions that he brings to the fight are actually crazy annoying, because they spit fire that will also do double damage. So yeah, this is a very, very annoying fight, but it's one of those bosses that when you beat, you're gonna feel amazing, seriously, and that's why I put him here. It's an annoying fight, definitely, but very challenging and very rewarding when you finally succeed. And for my number 11, I'm gonna pick Shakra, and this is probably one of the most, if not the most disappointing boss fight in the entire game. Like, I put him here at 11 and I give her like a positive score, but really, I was hoping for so much more. I mean, this is such an important character in the game. Like, seriously, she gives us the map for the entire game, so damn, she's everywhere in the entire game. So I was really hoping that the fight would be amazing, but sadly, even though it's very fast-paced and all, and it's very challenging, yes, which are two things I love, I don't know, she has like 3 attacks, and like especially the ring throwing is just so annoying to absolute oblivion, and I feel like the only way to punish this boss is like doing pogo on her. It's almost feels like it's impossible to hit her when you're like on the ground. You have to constantly be jumping the entire fight. I don't know, I got a bit annoyed with this fight, but again, it's still not like a bad fight or anything, and it's again one of the most important characters in the game, so I decided to put her here at 11. And at number 10 I went with the Raging Conchfly, which is another returning boss from the first act. On the first act we would fight 2 of them, and now we fight only 1. And the fight is very similar to Act 1, even though there is some new things, you know, because the boss is by herself, but at a certain point she brings, you know, like minions that will do, you know, some new attacks. And I think this is an extremely fast-paced fight, and I like it. This is a good fight, very intense, a lot of stuff going on, and I already mentioned this in another video that I really like the, you know, the way they look, the Raging Conchflies. So yeah, I had a blast fighting this boss, but I cannot talk about this boss without talking about the horrendous run back. Luckily I didn't die that many times, but man, the run back for this boss is absolutely atrocious, man. They really need to put some new benches in this game, Jesus. And since we're talking about run backs, I'm gonna give the number 9 to Groal The Great. This is probably gonna be a controversial pick, but yeah, I mean, what can I say? The run back for this boss is absolutely bonkers. Even if you find a hidden, you know, bench, it's also still absolutely crazy to get to the boss. And when you get to the boss, you have a gauntlet, which I already mentioned at the beginning of this video that I'm not a big fan. But man, like, I think the thing I like about this boss is that it's one of the most challenging things that you can do in the game, and this is the most famous boss probably in Silksong. It's the most talked of, at least probably him or Savage Beastfly. And like, I mean, there's some good things about this boss. First of all, like, the run back, it's atrocious, yes, but at the same time it's very hard to pull off everything without getting hit, and it feels great when you do it. And then you have the gauntlet, which I actually like. I mean, I know people hate it, but I actually like. Yes, there's the bush enemies that are annoying, but outside of the bush enemies, the rest of the gauntlet is actually pretty cool. And the boss itself, it's also pretty nice, man. I love the way he looks. I love the attack where he pushes you inside of him and he starts eating you. It's funny as hell. And, you know, you have the fact that if you fall on the water, you get, you know, poison, and you don't want to do that. So you have to pay attention to so many things in this fight. So yeah, I don't think he's that bad as people make it out to be. I think Groal The Great is not an amazing boss or anything, but it's actually pretty cool. I like him. And at number 8, I have another boss that I like. I mean, in fact, all the remaining bosses are cool. But I decided to give this to Forebrothers, Signis, and Gron. Like, the first thing I want to talk about this boss is the arena, man. I really like this place. I don't know why. It feels like you're fighting inside a volcano or at the end of the world or something like that. I really enjoy the atmosphere of this fight. And as for the fight itself, it feels a bit like a secondary boss fight. It doesn't feel like a main boss fight at all. I wish they were a bit cooler design, you know, visual, you know, they just seem like tiny normal enemies, but the fight itself is actually pretty cool, man. Like, you fight just one of them first, and then he summons, you know, some enemies, and then when you at a certain point in the fight, he summons, you know, the other big brother, and we're fighting one on the floor and another at the air. It's, you know, it's kind of hard, then gets, you know, very exciting. And then when we beat one of them and we just stay one-on-one, like, there's this lava in the middle of the screen, and things can get really wrong really fast, because if the boss hits you and then you hit the lava, you can get 4 masks of damage in like 1 second. It's actually crazy. So very intense fight, and yeah, I like it quite a lot. At number 7, I decided to give it to the second Sentinel, and this is a really cool boss that I feel that I wanted to appreciate more, but sadly I killed this boss on my second try, so I barely enjoyed the fight much. But, you know, it was still time enough to see that this was a fun boss. First of all, I like the way that it looks. It's really cool. I like his attacks, especially, you know, that like X, that cross slash or whatever you want to call it. and it's a very fast-paced boss, which is something I always love. And I mean, on the negative side, I don't know, the place where you fight him feels a bit not important or something. I don't know, I really was expecting to fight him somewhere else, maybe somewhere around, you know, Cogwork, you know, with all the spinning wheels and all of that, but you know, it just feels like a basic room that is not very important at all, so it felt like a secondary boss. But yeah, I had a blast. This is a very cool boss, and I just wish I didn't have killed him second try so I could fight him more, and maybe I would even appreciate the fight more, I don't know. At number 6 I have the Unravelled, and I think people will not like this positioning, but I absolutely love this boss, what can I say? But yeah, first I mean, I am very much into gothic stuff, you know, and you know, scary stuff and stuff like that. I mean, Bloodborne is my favorite game of all time, what can I say? And the Unravelled, man, it just has this atmosphere that I absolutely love. Like, you start fighting this boss like in the darkness, and you have like these two creepy enemies, and one of them is new, like you never fought this enemy anywhere else, at least I don't remember having fought him. And then the big boss appears, and like the guy occupies lots of the screen, and he does double damage. And I like the layers that this fight has, you know, because it's not just, you know, fighting the boss over and over again and does the same thing over and over again. No, there's a lot of layers. First you fight two enemies, then you fight the boss, then there's like these spears or whatever you want to call it that come from the ground and start to, you know, falling on top of you, and then the boss comes back again, and then new enemies come back again for you to fight, and then he comes back again. Like, there's so much going on. It's a very long fight with a lot of stuff going on, and again, I really love the atmosphere and the overall look of this boss, so yeah, I put him here at number 6. And for number 5 I have our second meeting with Lace, which has definitely one of the most beautiful arenas in the game. Like, that's probably the thing I can talk most about this fight, because honestly, there isn't much difference between this fight and the first encounter with her. Like, she had to like this 2-hit combo on the first encounter, and now she has a 3-hit combo. And on second phase, when she goes into the air and descends, now she has like these 3 circles that explode. And outside of that, man, I really cannot remember of anything different in this fight than from the first encounter. But the arena is absolutely gorgeous, so this is basically a boss that was good in first act and was just made a little bit better in second act, but is nowhere near the best boss in Act 2, at least for me. And at number 4 I decided to go with a final boss from the game, Grandmother Silk. Now, this is a really good boss to finish the game. I just kinda wish it was harder, and I think almost everyone is gonna say this. Grandmother Silk is not easy, don't get me wrong, at least I don't think it is. It still gave me some challenge, but I don't know, after so many hard encounters in the game, I really was expecting it to be a little bit harder. Now, this boss is really cool, you know, has a few phases, especially, you know, in the last one everything goes like crazy, where like there's spikes on the floor, there's rocks falling from the air, there's, you know, the needles going around the arena from the sides, from the top, like there's so much going on. And the music is very good as well. It's crazy. Like even before the fight starts, I really like how you get to the bridge and you see her at the bottom and you see the words challenge at the top. I don't know, it feels cool. And when you kill her, you have to, you know, do like the binding thing like so many times. It feels so intense. It feels like a real cool ending. So yeah, I do enjoy Grandmother Silk a lot, but it's not as good as the next bosses on this list. And for my number 3, I decided to go with Trobbio, and my god, I absolutely love this boss, man. Like, this boss is a party, man. Like, it feels like you're in the carnival or something, and there's like fireworks exploding everywhere, and you have this guy in the middle just showing off, doing these poses and jumping and dancing or something. I don't know, Trobbio is just so funny. Like, he even says his own name, and I don't know, man, the music, it's also so funny and good at the same time. Like, I don't know, it's just such a well-made boss, man. I feel that everything that happens in this fight meshes so incredibly good together. You know, like the spinning attack, the fireworks, you know, the balls that explode in you know, different directions. And again, like the music, everything matches so well into making an absolute stellar boss, man. Trobbio is just so much fun, such an incredible boss. But there are two bosses that are even better, and the number two, I decided to go with the Cogwork Dancers. Now this fight is amazing, man, and it's actually incredible because this boss has like one attack. I mean, it has two, but the other one is where they join together in the middle, and you know, you're probably gonna get hit by that one time and you're never gonna get hit again, because it's very simple to know that they're gonna do it. But it's crazy, man. They have like one attack. They just look to the side or to the diagonal or up, and they go that place, and they actually announce what they're gonna do. And they still made the boss really cool, man. And this is a very special boss for me because, you know, I just started Act 2. It was my first boss. I was so blown away by the beauty of the Citadel, and I was so crazy to see what would be the first boss. And the fact that this was it blew my mind, because this boss is absolutely stunning. First of all, the music is incredible, and like, you listen to the music in the first and second phase, but then on third phase it gets even better, the song. It's actually incredible what they did. And then, you know, first phase is slow, second phase is fast, third phase, you know, they mix the, you know, the time that they attack, and then fourth phase, man, it's gonna break everyone's heart, man. As soon as you see that one of them is dead and you're just fighting one alone, and he's moving like crazy slow, and the music also plays incredibly slow. And then he goes to the middle of the screen, man, and he's like trying to hug his partner, but the partner is not there, man. It almost makes like a grown man shed a tear. And I did not want to kill this boss, man. Like, seriously, the last hits I gave on this boss, I was feeling so bad about myself. And like, it's an incredible boss, man. It's such an amazing experience, one of the most memorable moments in the game. But to me, there is no better boss in Act 2 than the first Sinner. My god, what an experience, what an excitement, what a rush. Jesus Christ, this boss is a 10 out of 10. It's very close to from being an 11 out of 10. I absolutely love the first Sinner. First of all, music, incredible. I mean, I know it's the same music as the Widow, but it's absolutely stellar, this music. It fits so incredibly well with this boss, because this boss is crazy fast, it never stops, so it's a great music to be with. Now, another thing I love is the visual design from this boss. I mean, it has this crazy looking scary head, and he uses like this dress that looks like Marilyn Monroe or something like that. It's so freaking cool. And I don't know, man, I love the attacks of this boss. It feels like a mix of Absolute Radiance with Pure Vessel, which are two of my favorite bosses in Hollow Knight. So yeah, man, like, it's the fastest boss in the entire game. Like, I've already completed the entire game, and this is the fastest boss in the game, which is something I love. I love the speed of this boss, the excitement, the thrills. But, you know, I don't give this boss like an 11 out of 10, because there's one thing I'm not the biggest fan in this boss, which is I don't like where he's at in the game. He doesn't feel like a main boss also, man. I wish this boss was mandatory and he was in some like really cool area, and it felt like a big event instead of just like this optional boss that you just found in a cave somewhere. But outside of that, absolutely stellar boss, incredible. My favorite in Act 2. Is it my favorite from the entire game? Well, I guess you're gonna have to see my next list. But for now, in Act 2, First Sinner gets the win. Incredible boss from this incredible act. What a blast. Like, Silksong, Jesus Christ, you guys really nailed it on the boss. And yeah, that's the list, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please tell me in the comments which one are your favorites, and I see you guys as always on the next video. Stay well, bye bye.